Welcome to Sister Intern Sundays. Here is where we are going to talk all about religious life, about discernment, about all that fun stuff. And I asked you guys on social media to send me questions of things that you want to ask someone who is about to enter religious life, and you sent them. So we're going to start this Q&A. But before I begin, I got questions on how I'm called to religious life. I made a video about all of that, and you should watch that video before you watch this video, because then this video will make so much more sense, I promise. So click on the link in the description below. That was a lot of energy, I'm sorry. I'm just really excited, you know? We are going to start with the basics before I dive deep into those personal questions. I got a lot of questions about what the difference between a sister and a nun is, the different stages of religious life, all that stuff. When a woman is discerning religious life, she feels called to enter religious life, and she's looking for what order she wants to join. An order is a community or a congregation of women religious. She either looks at a congregation of women religious who are sisters or a congregation of women religious who are nuns. And the major difference is that a woman religious who is a nun is cloistered. She devotes her life mostly to prayer and staying within the walls of her convent. All of her works are done there. A sister is the one you normally see out in the world with her habit and everything. Her works are done in the world. None is better than the other. I use none. They all take vows of chastity, poverty, and obedience. Some orders take on an extra vow. They each do different apostolic works. And I mean, they're just different ways in which God is calling a woman to live out her religious vocation and be Christ here on earth. The different stages of religious life. So, there is, let me list them out for you. Aspirancy, postulancy, novitiate, and then you start taking your first vows all the way to your final vows. Each stage is just a deeper step into becoming a fully professed woman religious. So here's another question. How long does it take? This differs based on the order. I'll speak on behalf of the Mercedarian sisters. I will enter at the end of July as an aspirant. I will be an aspirant for about 2 weeks, and then I will fully enter into the community as a postulant, and that lasts about a year. After postulancy, I will continue on to novitiate, and novitiate lasts 2 years with the Mercedarian sisters, and that is a more cloistered year, meaning that, not like cloistered like a nun, but meaning that it's more focused on formation and not so much doing the apostolic works. So the Mercedarian sisters are an active order, they are sisters, but certain years of formation are more cloistered, as they say, and that's just more focused within formation. And then I go and I take my first vows, and I continue taking vows all the way up until my final vows, and the whole process takes 9 years. So that's a lot of time for discernment, which is really, really, really good. How often can you communicate, and through what means? So this answer to this question also depends on what order you're looking into. Me personally, I can communicate with my family every month, so I get to call or FaceTime or whatever every month, once a month. Then I can also write emails and letters, as many as I want, and I can receive as many as I want until Advent and Lent. During those 2 seasons, I can only write a limited amount, but I can receive as much as I want, or as many letters come to me. So I can still have friends. Okay, so we're going one step deeper. We are going to talk about the discernment process. First question, what advice do I give to those who are afraid of religious life? Don't be. I know, whatever, Tonya, that's a typical answer, but seriously, don't be. There's no reason to. If you believe that God fulfills the desires of your heart, which He does, why do you have to be afraid of religious life? It is a beautiful vocation. Just like if you're called to married life, that's a beautiful vocation too. Like, there's just nothing to be afraid of religious life. It's a way in which you can give your whole self to God and to serving others and to loving others, and it's like, you have no reason to be afraid of this, and God will lead you through it. And I'm like shocked at the graces that I've received from it already, and the things that I thought would be difficult weren't difficult. And I mean, I could get into that later, but there's really nothing to be afraid of, because our God is the God of the impossible, and He's with us in every step. So like, I have nothing to fear, because I know fear is not of Him. So if you're afraid of religious life, I really think you should like learn about what religious life really is. I had a lot of fears, and then I went to go see an order, and I lived with them for 6 days, and all those misconceptions were totally thrown out. And I think that knowledge is power in this case, and once you have knowledge of what it's actually like, those fears like vanish like that. So I definitely recommend going and learning more about it. Something that will help big time with those fears of religious life, or any fears at all, or just the whole process of discernment, is a spiritual director. I highly, highly, highly recommend one. Like, I would require one if I could. A spiritual director is someone who guides you. It's typically a priest, even a sister, and they just guide you through your spiritual life, and they're able to see things that you don't see, or help you in figuring out your emotions or what God is calling you to, or whatever. Even if you're going for a married vocation, spiritual directors are key. They are amazing, and thank God for them. Why did you choose this specific order? Meaning, why did I choose the Mercedarian Sisters of the Blessed Sacrament? Well, to be quite honest, I told God I cannot make decisions for my life. So in choosing an order that has, like, you know, there are hundreds of different orders, I told him he had to show me which one he wanted me to enter with. And he did. That's the easy answer. I think sometimes we're scared to be bold with God, or sometimes we're not, but he wants us to, and he wants to show us. I want to be where God wants me to be, and so I left that up to him. And watch my call video because I talk more about it there. But I chose them because they continually pushed me to pursue what God wanted of me, and I visited their community and it just felt like home. Didn't expect to join an order that was mainly a teaching order, but their spirituality is just super similar to mine, and I loved being in adoration every day, and I loved the whole idea of redeeming captives, or redeeming captivity in people's hearts. So I chose the Mercedarians because, bottom line, that's what God wanted for me, and it felt like home. Choosing an order. What to look for when choosing an order. Look for an order that you feel at home in. Now I'm going to answer more personal questions that I got. So the first one, what are you most afraid of? In the beginning, I was really afraid of failing, as in being wrong in my decision. Realizing that, okay, let's say I enter, and then a year in, I realize that this isn't for me and I have to leave. That was a lot of pride in my heart because I didn't want to be wrong. Over time, I've learned that, you know, who cares if I'm wrong? Like, first off, I shouldn't be caring what other people think of my decisions because it's my decision. But secondly, you know, I am answering God's call, and I go and I try, and if it doesn't work out, at least I've tried, you know, and I can rule that out. But I think that fear of failure is something that held me back from making a final answer and holds a lot of people back, but there's no need for it because God leads us, and if he leads me to this and he leads me out, he'll still be with me and lead me to something else. So that was what I was most afraid of. I think sometimes it kind of comes back, but I know now to say, like, okay, that's not of God, and I'm not going to listen to that fear. Are you sad about leaving anything or anyone behind? This is kind of funny that someone asked this because I was just with the Mother General, meaning like the Mother Superior of the entire Order of Mercedarians. I know, crazy. This past weekend, and she asked me that question, and I told her, like, I don't care about the things. That's definitely a grace, you know. Honestly, a lot of things have been breaking on me, so God's making it really easy to leave. The thing I'm going to miss the most or be sad about the most is my family, just because I'm really close to my family. But I know that I'm not actually leaving my family, I'm growing closer to them, and that's kind of a hard thing to understand and to learn. But a sister that is in the community that I'm joining actually wrote a blog on that whole concept. I'll leave that link in the description below, and you should check it out if that's something that you're feeling sad about too. I just realized that, you know, you're not leaving your family, you're growing even closer to them in the Eucharist. So, yeah. Next question. Do sisters wear normal pajamas? My community, yes, they wear normal pajamas. I'm entering with pajamas that I'm bringing, and the sisters there wear normal pajamas. Other orders, I'm not really sure, but for my order, yes. How am I preparing myself so far? That's a really good question. I think I'm definitely trying to stay rooted in the sacraments and focus on God's voice and like trying to find silence in my day to hear God, because I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. Spiritual attack is real, and when you are about to glorify God or come closer to God in any way, it comes on full force, and that brings on fears and anxieties and all that stuff. But okay, there's no reason to be scared of that, because God outpowers all of that. But it's just something to be aware of, and so it's kind of become sneakier, just in my life personally. And now that I'm about to enter religious life, like, I've felt myself just being lazier and all these things, and it's just, like, why am I feeling like this? And meeting with the spiritual director made me realize, okay, this is spiritual attack and I have to like combat it. So just staying focused in prayer, staying rooted in Jesus, and maintaining that relationship with Him and that closeness to Him, and not straying away from my normal routine. But that's kind of hard being home, but just finding it in different ways and focusing on the things that I've wanted to focus on for a really long time that I haven't had time to before, and just making sure that I'm listening to God as I'm about to give my whole life to Him. Are you going to miss wearing clothes other than a habit? Yes and no. Having a habit is really easy. It's like wearing a uniform to school. Like, you don't really have to think about what you're wearing the next day, so that's great. But I did cry at the shoe store the other day. I was getting my nun shoes, and I'm going to make a vlog about when I actually go shopping for all this stuff and whatever. Me and my mom were kidding around, and she told me to ask a sales associate for like actual nun shoes, and then I looked like at all the shoes, and I was kind of in the aisle by myself, and my laughter turned into actual tears, and I was like, oh my God, I'm never gonna get a pair of shoes again, whatever. That's normal. So like, yes and no. It's like a bittersweet thing, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't have to worry about all that stuff anymore, which is great. How will you spend your free time once you've entered? I know within the structure of a day, they have scheduled time for recreation, and they always play board games, they go on walks, they do different things like that. So I know I'll be doing those things. I'll have a lot of time to read, which I didn't have before, so I'm excited for that. But other than those things, I don't really know yet, so we'll see once I'm there. Is there a particular part of your faith life that you're looking to focus on? And most importantly, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you to continue to get closer to Jesus every day? Okay, I'll answer that one first. I'm like at an 11. I cannot wait. And is there a particular part of your faith life that you're looking to focus on? Yes, I am looking to focus on the intellect, the intellectual knowledge. I think my faith life is definitely through the heart. Like, my relationship with Christ is not in books or theological or anything like that. I mean, I can't even communicate with you guys what the answer to that question is, so if that goes to show, but really, like, my faith has always been, yes, I love Jesus, and like, knowing Him and loving Him in my heart and whatever, but I cannot wait to just like intellectually understand theological concepts and learn about them and like the history of the church, and I cannot. I'm so excited for that. I would ask for prayers. Oh, yes. Prayers are guaranteed and they're free, you guys. So send me your intentions, okay? Okay then, Miss Tanya, here's my question. Using your imagination, knowing that you'll be 100% exquisitely wrong, because God's always right, how do you think God makes St. Tanya Borsellino out of your life's religious vocation? I don't know. I just want a crazy story, because those are always the coolest. Like this video if you agree with that, if you want a crazy story too. I don't know what God has planned, you guys, but He's got something awesome. So this was the first Sister Intern Sunday video. I hope you guys liked it. I had a fun time answering your questions. In the next Sister Intern Sunday video, I am going to be talking about how I told my family that I am going to enter religious life and what that looked like. And more videos to come are going to be like what I'm taking with me to the convent, or any other kind of topics about religious life that you guys want to discuss. So please, please, please let me know what you want to talk about. And if you have any questions, like always, please send them my way. Tweet me at tborsellino. Know that I am praying for you guys, and just continue striving for greatness and listening to God's voice in your heart. It's not easy, but it's well worth it. Do you like my shirt? It says, "Everybody has a vocation." What's yours?